Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are totally resetting how we think about technology. Seriously.
Yeah, forget your fiber optic speed for a sec.
Or, how fast you get likes on social media. We're jumping way back.
Way, way back.
We're looking at the absolute foundational tech of human communication. The systems, the tools, the methods people used long before electricity was even, a concept.
It's a really important shift in how you look at things, I think. We tend to automatically link tech with electronics now.
Right. Computers, phones.
But the source material you shared with us really shows that communication itself is probably humanity's oldest, most critical technology.
Huh. Communication as technology.
Exactly. Our ancestors were constantly figuring out ways, engineering methods to manage information. It wasn't accidental.
Absolutely. And hey, a big thank you to you, our listener, for sending over this incredible stack of sources. Really fascinating stuff.
It really is.
So our mission today is to pull out the biggest, maybe most surprising ideas about how ancient peoples swapped ideas, sent warnings, told stories.
And then the cool part.
Yeah, then we're going to try and connect those ancient methods directly to, well, the digital devices you're probably holding right now.
Okay, let's start with the big question, the real mystery behind it all. Because honestly, this is what pushes all human innovation forward.
Okay, lay it on us.
Just take a moment and think about this. How did people actually manage to share information across huge distances over long stretches of time?
Right, with none of the tools we have.
And maybe slow down for this part. Why? Why was being able to communicate so fundamental for just basic survival? Yeah, but also for organizing trade, building communities, essentially for creating the first civilizations.
That need, that deep need to connect, it's like the engine driving everything else.
It really is.
And even the simplest systems back then, maybe just a specific sound or a line drawn in the dirt, that was their cutting edge tech.
The peak of innovation for its time.
So we're going to trace that evolution, starting right at the beginning with the very first tries at leaving some kind of permanent mark.
Okay, let's dive into section 1, the visual language of early humans.
All right, so we're talking about recording ideas using symbols, symbolic art, and that takes us straight into those prehistoric caves.
Places like Lascaux in France, right? Famous for those amazing cave paintings.
Exactly. Stunning stuff.
But what's really key here, according to the sources, is understanding what those images did, their function. They weren't just, decorating the place.
More than just art.
Definitely. The sources point out they were actual tools for preserving really important information.
Like what?
Well, things like hunting strategies, documenting rituals, maybe mapping out stars, keeping track of myths that held their whole group together. They were, in a way, the original hard drives, long-term data storage.
Wow, okay. The first hard drives. I like that. And it gives us a great way into thinking about symbols, right?
For sure.
I want you, listening right now, to think about how that ancient use of symbolic art using a picture everyone recognized to stand for a big idea or a feeling is exactly what we still do.
All the time.
Like company logos, right? You see the symbol, you instantly know the brand, or think about emojis or memes.
Oh, definitely memes.
You send one little picture and it communicates a whole feeling or a complex inside joke without typing a single word. It's the same basic idea, that mental shortcut.
It's maximum efficiency, in a way. You trade off some detail, maybe, but you gain instant recognition. Speed.
That balance, speed versus detail, speed versus permanence. That's a theme we're going to see again and again.
Absolutely. And that idea is speed. That need for faster communication takes us right out of the dark cave and into the open air for section 2. Coded speed and ephemeral messages.
Okay, so now we're talking high speed, but you need line of sight. We're talking smoke signals.
Classic example. Used all over the world, really. Indigenous peoples here in North America, ancient Chinese armies watching the Great Wall. They all figured out systems using smoke.
And the clever part was the coding, wasn't it? It wasn't just, hey, look, smoke.
Not at all. The meaning was all in the code, how the smoke looked. Maybe a series of short puffs meant one thing.
Like danger approaching.
Maybe. And a long, continuous plume could mean something else entirely. All clear, perhaps. Or maybe the color mattered, or the timing between puffs. It was a controlled system.
And it was fast. I mean, if you needed to warn the next village about an attack right now, smoke was way faster than sending someone running.
Miles faster, potentially.
But there's always a but, isn't there? That speed came at a cost. A big one, in terms of what you could actually say.
Exactly. That's the core trade-off we keep seeing. It's fundamental to why humans kept pushing for better communication tech.
So what was the trade-off with smoke signals?
Well, you gained that incredible speed, that immediacy, but you lost almost all the detail.
Right.
You could maybe send attack or danger nearby,
Yeah.
but you absolutely couldn't send a complex message like, the enemy cavalry is approaching from the North Pass. Estimate 500 riders. We need reinforcements and fresh water supplies urgently.
No way. Just couldn't do it.
Visual codes like smoke signals are fast, yes, but incredibly limited in scope compared to, say, writing something down. Ephemeral, too. Once the smoke clears, the message is gone.
Fast but flimsy, in a way. And sometimes you need that speed, but maybe over a longer distance where you can't see the smoke.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, biological technology and long-distance delivery.
Ah, okay. Are we talking about animals here?
We are. Specifically, the original one-way data delivery system, the messenger pigeon.
The ultimate biological drone. I love it.
Kind of, yeah. Pigeons were incredibly valuable. Why? Because they could reliably carry small, written messages over really long distances, often over difficult terrain or even battle lines.
And we know people use them for ages, right? Not just ancient history.
Absolutely. We see records from ancient Rome, Egypt, but they were still crucial right up into modern conflicts. Think about World War I.
Yeah, the stories are amazing.
Sometimes a single pigeon released from the trenches was the only way to get an urgent message back to headquarters through all the chaos. They literally saved lives. Cher Ami and birds like that.
Incredible reliability.
Amazing navigational ability, that homing instinct. But the sources are clear. They had one major technological drawback that stopped them from being a true back-and-forth communication system.
Okay, what was the catch?
They were almost entirely one-way. You train the bird over months to fly back to its home coop, its loft. It carries a note to that specific place.
Ah, so you couldn't just attach a reply and send the same bird right back out.
Not immediately, no.
Yeah.
It needs to rest, be fed, and it only knows how to get home. So it wasn't like sending an email and getting an instant reply.
Right. So let's make that comparison the source material suggests. If messenger pigeons were the, quote, biological technology of the past, how do they stack up against the delivery drones we're starting to see now?
Interesting comparison. Both can deliver a small payload over a distance reliably. That function is similar.
But the differences are huge, too.
Massive. Think about control and autonomy. A modern drone is programmed. You give it GPS coordinates, a flight path, maybe even instructions on what to do when it arrives.
You tell it where to go.
Exactly. A pigeon.
No.
Well, you spend months training it, relying entirely on its natural instinct just to find its way back to one single specific place, its home. You can't easily redirect it mid-flight.
That shift from training a living creature to programming a machine, that feels like a really fundamental change in how we use technology for delivery.
It is huge. Because while the pigeon offered that reliable long-distance delivery, it still couldn't handle, say, the volume of information or the complexity needed to run an empire or a complex society.
You couldn't send the tax code via pigeon post.
Probably not practical, no. And that limitation, that need for more detail, more permanence, that brings us to a truly monumental shift. Section 4, the revolution of permanent records.
Okay, this feels big. We're moving beyond just codes or simple messages.
We are. This is the breakthrough from those limited symbolic codes like cave art or maybe even smoke signals into structured, repeatable, permanent writing systems.
And the prime example here has to be Egyptian hieroglyphs, right?
Absolutely. Hieroglyphs were an incredible feat of early information engineering. It wasn't just simple pictures.
No. What was it then?
It was this amazing mix. Yes, some symbols were pictographic, representing the thing they looked like, but others were abstract symbols for ideas. And crucially, others represented sounds, phonetic components.
Wow, all mixed together.
All in one complex system. It was incredibly difficult to learn and use, requiring years of training for scribes. But it allowed for an unprecedented level of detail and nuance in recorded information.
And the impact of that. You can't overstate it, can you?
World-changing. This wasn't just about sending a quick warning anymore. This shift to writing allowed for really complex ideas.
Like laws.
Exactly. Codified law, how a society agrees to govern itself. Religious texts and doctrines. Accumulated scientific knowledge, observations about the stars, medicine. All of it could now be recorded accurately.
And not just recorded, but preserved.
Preserved and spread.
Right.
Across huge empires and, crucially, across generations. Knowledge could build upon itself in a way that just wasn't possible with purely oral tradition or simple symbols.
Okay, but you mentioned it was complex. Hieroglyphs weren't something everyone could just pick up and use.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
That complexity meant, in practice, Only a very small elite group, the scribal class, priests, royalty, could actually read and write. They kind of held a monopoly on recorded knowledge.
So knowledge was power, quite literally.
Very much so. And that's why if we think about technological breakthroughs, the next step after something like hieroglyphs was perhaps even more revolutionary.
What was that?
The shift from those complex, numerous symbols to a much simpler, streamlined alphabet, where maybe just 20, 30, or 40 letters, each representing a basic sound, could be combined to write any word.
Ah, like a Phoenician alphabet leading to Greek, Latin, and eventually our own.
Precisely. Why was that such a massive breakthrough? Because it drastically simplified the process of reading and writing. It lowered the barrier. It started to democratize literacy and access to information for more ordinary people. That shift is easily one of history's greatest technological leaps.
Making it simpler, more accessible, that seems key. Especially when you think about the sheer effort involved in the next method we need to look at. Section 5, durability and distribution.
Right. We need to remember that easy, cheap paper wasn't always around. So if you wanted your writing to last, really last, what did you use?
Heavy stuff.
Exactly. Before paper became common and affordable, people had to carve or press their text and images into incredibly durable materials. Think massive stone blocks, strong wood, baked clay tablets like in Mesopotamia.
You have to just imagine the work involved, like carving the Code of Hammurabi into that huge stone pillar.
The physical labor must have been immense, and that points to the trade-off.
Speed, again.
Absolutely. The process was incredibly slow, painstakingly slow. It might take months, maybe even years, to carefully carve or inscribe a single important document or set of laws.
So definitely not for sending quick updates.
No, the goal here wasn't speed of creation or speed of delivery. The primary goal was permanence, survival against time, against the elements.
If you wanted your laws or your king's decree to last for centuries, maybe millennia, you put it in stone or baked clay.
And it worked. That's why we can still read many of those ancient records today. It was effective preservation.
Which really highlights how revolutionary the later inventions were. I mean, if carving stone was the main way to make information permanent, just imagine how drastically things changed with, first, the invention of relatively cheap paper,
Huge.
and then later, the mechanical printing press using movable type. Suddenly, information that used to be locked away in stone or slowly copied by hand by scribes.
Could be mass-produced,
Yeah.
copied quickly and relatively cheaply.
And distributed far and wide. It must have completely transformed everything: economics, politics, religion, science, the whole landscape of human knowledge.
That acceleration from slow carving to mass distribution, that's the core of the story, isn't it? It's the perfect point to bring everything together for our final review in Section 6.
Okay, let's do a quick recap. A checklist from the source material looking at the function of each method.
Good idea.
We started with cave art. What was its main function?
Symbolic meaning, cultural memory, maybe tracking time or hunts, preserving group identity.
Right. Then we jumped to smoke signals, functions.
Speed, coded messages, fast warnings, but very limited information, highly ephemeral.
Got it. Next up, messenger pigeons.
Biological technology, right.
Yeah.
Reliable one-way delivery over distance, carrying small physical messages.
Okay, then the big leap, hieroglyphs.
A true structured writing system, allowed for complex ideas, laws, history. Permanent records, but complex to use.
And finally, the really durable stuff, stone and wood printing or carving.
Maximum durability. Long-term preservation of important records, but incredibly slow to create.
Looking at that whole progression, it's like you see humanity constantly identifying a problem with communication.
Yeah, like this message needs to get there faster.
Or how do I make sure these laws don't get forgotten or changed?
Or how can more people access this knowledge?
Exactly. And then engineering a solution, using the materials and understanding they had at the time. Each step built on the last, tackling a limitation.
Okay, so thinking about that whole journey, here's the final challenge question we want to leave you with. This connects all that history right up to your life today.
Let's hear it.
Looking at that entire list of early communication technologies, the cave paintings, the smoke signals, the pigeons, the hieroglyphs, the stone carvings, which one of those ancient methods, or maybe the principle behind it, do you think best paved the way? Which one most prepared societies for the kind of instant, complex, digital communication systems we rely on today?
Ooh, that's a tough one. What's the underlying connection? Yeah, think about the core idea or need that transfers across time.
That's a great question for reflection. Because the big takeaway here, the central idea from all these sources, has to be that communication isn't just something societies do. It's not a side effect.
It's more fundamental.
It is the fundamental infrastructure. It's
Yeah.
the bedrock upon which everything else is built. Cooperation, trade, governance, culture. And every step we've talked about
From carving stone to sending a text message.
was driven by a clear human need to make information faster or more durable or more detailed or accessible to more people. It constantly evolves based on what we need it to do.
Absolutely. It's an amazing arc from like the flickering light on a dark cave wall showing a bison
Mhm.
all the way to the bright screen of the phone or tablet you might be listening on right now. Every single step in that long chain solved a specific problem people faced.
But, and this is key too, every solution seemed to create new challenges, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, okay, now we have writing, but who gets to learn it? Now we have printing, but how do we handle the flood of information? Now we have the internet. Well, we're still figuring out the challenges that bring.
Information overload, digital archiving, fake news,
Oh, yeah.
new solutions, new problems for the next generation to tackle. It never stops.
It really doesn't. Okay, before we wrap up, let's talk about the interactive activity challenge. This comes straight from your sources.
Right. Homework time, but fun homework.
We challenge you, before you switch off, choose just one of the communication methods we discussed today. Maybe you found the smoke signals interesting, or maybe the messenger pigeons caught your imagination.
Pick one. Got it.
And then just in your head, or maybe jot it down, outline 3 key things about that method. Just 3 points.
Okay. What are they?
Number 1, who generally used it? Like which societies or groups? Number 2, why was it important for them? What problem did it solve? And number 3, what was its single biggest limitation or drawback?
Who used it, why it mattered, and what was its main weakness? Got it. Like a quick mental quiz.
Exactly. Test your recall, see what stuck with you. It helps solidify the ideas.
Cool. Well, hopefully this deep dive has given you a totally new appreciation for the incredible history packed inside your smartphone or computer.
It didn't just appear out of nowhere. It all started, in a way, with smoke and stones and birds.
Join us next time where we'll take this foundation and connect it even more directly to today's digital world. We'll explore what happens when information becomes instantaneous, global, and almost overwhelming.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for diving deep with us.